Okay, I think it's going now.
It's running.
Yes. I guess this is our very first podcast
First podcast.
without a name, but it's okay.
We'll figure out the name.
So I was thinking maybe at first we could no structure
Mm.
because most podcasters don't have structure, or maybe they do, but I think it's better instead of thinking about it every week, we just sit down and talk.
Freeform. Okay. How long do you think we should go for? Depends.
Yeah, it
We'll
depends.
see.
Depends on whatever.
Okay.
I guess you should start with like your story,
Okay.
like explain your why people should listen to you
Yeah.
and us.
And then the audience for this podcast, it's future colleagues, it's customers, and I think it's the market as a whole.
Yeah.
So even people that make adjacent products.
Yes. Oh yeah, so we can explain who we are, our purpose, and our ideas on the lay of the land
Yeah.
of the world right now.
Yeah, just off the top of our head. Yeah. Okay. Well, you already know me, but for the audience, so I'm Tim. I've been running 180 Snacks for about 8 years now, and then that it's grown significantly. At its lowest in 2021 with COVID, we were doing about 12 million in sales. We're finishing this year right about 68, 70 million in sales. So it's been crazy trying to scale that business up. And Mango and this company that you and I have started together is really like a dream come true because I always wanted something way better to run the business. How about you?
Um, so I'm Jonathan. I graduated from undergrad at 2022, and then I worked as a software engineer for about 2 years, and then I got super bored, and then so I left to because I wanted to work in robotics, and I saw how good ChatGPT and the LLMs were going to become. So I
Yeah.
knew that it was almost like Pompeii, like the volcano erupted, and then you have to immediately run towards the shore.
Dude, I love it.
And
Yeah.
so that's what I told my mom. Like I explained to her why I was doing it, and so I left, went back to school for a little bit, but I think halfway through I was like, this is a complete and utter waste of time because everything that they're teaching me, I could just teach myself. Like actually, and it wasn't just me. Me and my friend who we met at school, he was also like, this is kind of like a waste of time. They're just trying to give us homework to keep us busy. But
Yeah, that must have been interesting while you're in, even within the first couple of weeks, you're like, how do I feel about this? I
yes,
signed up for this, I'm paying for this. But okay, even
yes,
your friend and you.
yeah. And then so, yeah, and he's super cool too. And then I basically, and then we met through a mutual,
That's right.
and then I think I hit you up later on because
Yeah.
I hated school so much.
Yeah,
I remember you saying like, "Oh,
that
like does
faithful
anyone
text.
here like work with like LLMs?" I didn't work with LLMs, but I
Yeah.
knew you were referring to like technology and stuff. So I was like, "I hate school. This is bull crap. I'll just see what happens." And then
Dude,
now we're
yeah.
working on this.
Okay, wait, I have a question to ask you, but going back, when you were talking to your mom, did you use that metaphor of Pompeii?
Mm-hmm.
What was her response to that?
Oh, she's like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So that was, I think we first met. I forget when. I
It
think
was like February. So
February.
through his head, we were at that Bag of Cakes cafe. You were starting to talk about history and books and podcasts that you like. I've just never,
Oh yeah.
in my immediate circle, like a lot of the business podcasts, people aren't up to date with it. But then, yeah, you said a couple weeks later, you followed up with me and you're like, hey, let's get coffee, right?
Yes.
And then it's interesting because it's not like we started talking technical details or market opportunity. You were just sharing with me about that, or among many things. I think we were talking about Freerin, the manga, like the stage of life, wanting to go on an adventure.
Yeah. And I thought it was super cool because you were running a large business. Oh, well, I guess it's not like okay, but like a fairly large business.
Sure.
I was like, that's pretty cool. Like going from 12 to like 70 million.
Yeah.
Like that's like pretty impressive. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not a lot of people who have done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And who have I shared that with?
Oh yeah,
I haven't shared that with that many
at
people.
church and stuff, do you like talk about
Zero.
zero?
Zero. So this will also be really weird because I'm just realizing like when I was in Japan this year, I was like, man, I gotta have a semi-public life
Yeah.
and integrate things versus like keeping everything in separate spaces. But I have to share that because we're looking for like great people, great customers. It's
Yes.
just one part of my life. But anyways,
You do have to flex a little bit. That'd be funny that
yeah.
like they're watching this or you like show, hey, I have a podcast. They see the first 5 minutes, like, wait, well, what the? I did not know. I
Yeah,
bet they could tell though, just by like hanging out with you. But yeah,
maybe. There's a lot of bad things in my life too. But that is like that's been
yes,
a I am proud of that. I should accept it. I received that. Thank you.
yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Our purpose.
Yeah, we were also intrigued by Jewish Americans, the way they run businesses, the way they do community, the way they innovate. That was pretty fun. We
Mhm.
were taking that long walk around that park.
Oh yeah,
We can talk about our purpose. Yeah,
yeah. And
purpose.
then I think when I first came here, I think both of our ideas at first were just to like find little things that can be automated
Yeah,
within your existing workflow.
yeah,
Oh, tell the story about tell that story.
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, because like truly, I remember with a friend and colleague trying to develop some software, and project didn't go well. There's a lot of miscommunication. Like we have a relationship that's good now, but it was so expensive. I'm talking like $20,000 per app in like weeks, and the small feature change was like whoa, like that's gonna take a long time. Obviously, 2024 and onwards, like working with you has been a completely different experience. Like we're like building things overnight. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's you're asking me to share that experience. Yeah, that was a lot of money spent. That was painful, and I have firsthand experience watching you work. It's like 100x.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know about it more than me.
Yeah. So yeah, mostly thanks to Codex
Yeah,
and the LLM tools,
yeah.
which makes like any competent developer. You don't even need to be a good like just any competent developer moves 100 times faster, and that's not a made up number. Like because I actually was looking at how much my entire developer team. We had like 6 people, but 4 developers, 2 QAs, but I'm not including my manager. But we did have a PO, but I'm not including that. Just developers and testers. See how much we got done in a sprint, which is 2 weeks, and then I would do more than that within a single day. Actually, far more than I would do like 3 sprints worth of work in a single day.
So okay, what's kind of interesting to me is you had the Pompeii experience, where you literally quit your job, then you went to your master's program, but then you decided to. I remember when you told me that you had like stopped it.
Yeah,
That's so crazy. I was like, who is this guy?
yeah.
What was what was different between we can go back to that. What was different between like at that time when you quit your UCI grad school, did you have the same conviction and like visceral emotion as like when we started working together and you realized like, hey, you truly are 100x? Like what changed
It
over the
was
last 2 months versus 8 months ago?
It was uh it was as the tools got better. So at work I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, this can actually do all of my work." And then right around November, that's when Codex came out.
2025.
Yeah. And then I was doing it to do
2025.
all of my schoolwork, like everything. I was like, "There's no point there. What are we doing here?" And then Codex came out, I think like I forget exactly when, like February or like maybe well, when Codex got really good, I think it was like February, January maybe. And then I was like, oh, okay. This is a complete waste of time. The world has changed. Um, yeah. And I didn't even
Crazy,
like the
man.
school I was going to. I just went because my undergrad technically wasn't an engineering degree. It was something called MIS, Management Information Systems. which I went to school in the Bay Area, and then that degree is it almost specifically tailored for you to become like a technical project manager.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's why when I wanted to get an actual like engineering degree, I had to do all these prereqs. So that's what I
Mm,
spent a lot of time doing, was taking like, the basics like Calc 2, physics,
mm,
whatever, 2, 3, whatever, all that. And I was just like, all right, I'll just go do whatever school can accept me.
mm, mm, mm.
Um, but yeah, I think the story is I came in here, we decided to work together, and we would just do some like basic automations, like the app that takes a photo of an item, extracts the information, and puts it into a database.
Yeah, it's basically taking photos that have been taken within the retail store, and instead of manually logging into a database from your phone, it's just logging it into a database
Yes.
and reading the image with OCR. Yeah.
And then other things that are basically like extracting data automatically
Yeah.
within like large apps. And then we realized, oh, I was still like content with doing that. I wasn't thinking about doing anything besides
Yeah.
that. And then you came in
Yeah.
with a better idea.
Yeah, because you were working, like, we called that microservice. So, oh, here's our first, here's our second. But then we were like, where do we host this microservice?
Yeah.
I distinctly remember, and you kind of built like just a generalized, like, oh, here's like a little canvas. And then what was the moment where we were like full blown, like, dude, let's. Do you remember that first moment?
Yeah. We were downstairs, and then you're like, okay, screw the automation. I think something along the lines of like, okay, we're not gonna do the automations. We're gonna work on this other thing because you were like talking about all of the times you wanted to make the perfect software for scaling the company,
Yeah,
and you tried all of these different things, and you're like, they all sucked.
yeah,
And you're like, let's make something new,
yeah.
because I think you saw how fast things can be developed.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we've been developing for about 12 weeks now, 10 weeks.
I came in last week of March. We started Mango April 12th. So that's
Okay, April 12th.
almost 2.5 months.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's a little bit more of like we're kind of giving some context for how we're sitting here right now recording our first podcast. Like we're coming off of a big build. It's been over 3 months, but just 2.5 working on this product.
And we're finally starting to roll it out at 180.
Yeah, yeah. So you can see this office here. We're trying to go live by July 4th. Yeah, that's intense. And we feel like we're hunters closing in on the winning shot.
Yeah. And today's what's today again?
Today's Saturday.
June 27th.
Today's Saturday, June 27th. Yeah, so this coming week, we hope to be live. Let's talk about purpose real quick. Did you want to circle to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess our purpose with Mango is to help companies just run better.
Okay.
And then you tell about Uda.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna go into your like life purpose, also, which is super interesting. When you first told me, I was like, "What the? Why is this guy talking like this?" You want to do that, and then I'll go into Uda.
Okay.
Yours is more general, I think, and it captures the ethos of the entire company.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically where do I even start? Okay, so my purpose, the reason why I am on this earth is really to increase organized labor and resources into systems and institutions that optimize the scientific, productive, and human well-being outputs of civilization.
Productive. Did you say happiness?
Yeah, human well-being.
Human well-being. That's the word you used.
And that is my purpose. That is why
Yeah.
that drives everything that I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we could go to a variety of reasons of how that came to be. But basically, modernity is ending. Modernity is ending. Like this facade that, you just have one large empire controlling everything.
Yeah.
History has no more wars. We're post-history. We could all get along, kumbaya. That is like, everyone's aware it's coming to an end with China and a multipolar world. And in this decadence, this belief that you don't have to strive for anything, it's really collapsing before everyone's eyes
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to relearn important lessons that pretty much every other society in human history already knew. We
Yeah.
just have forgotten about. And so
What an interesting framing.
the most important thing is the past 80 years with the abundance that's come across is the lack of purpose. When you have no purpose, you cannot differentiate between right and wrong. That's why you go along and have all sorts of crazy ideas that damage your society, such as deindustrialization.
It's like there's no purpose. The purpose is to simply express oneself.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, there is no like teleology, and therefore no way to judge things. It's
Yes.
crazy.
So there is no purpose.
Yeah.
So the only running thing is your own biology and psyche.
Yeah.
You still have status seeking, wealth accumulate, and all this stuff, but there's no greater purpose to any of that.
Yeah.
And so that's what society has lost.
Yeah.
So, but if you have purpose now with those three outputs, science, production, and human well-being, then you can judge what's right and wrong. What is the right decision? And you have it tangibly you could give it a numerical number and you could measure the differences. And so then you can measure what's a good decision and bad decision.
Dude, yeah. So for the audience, they'll be like, what the? But when we were at that park and you were sharing these things, for me, it like really exemplifies that this concept of sociological imagination, which you're taking epochal history, like big trends,
Yeah.
but then you translate it down into your like personal biography, and it informs like your day-to-day living. But you're fluent, kind of using language to go up the ladder and back down, which I think is like a pretty good indicator of someone that's super smart and thoughtful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and every human being is like this. It's just they can't talk like it, which makes it harder for them to access and solve certain problems they run into. So yeah, it's not that we're better, but definitely people will enjoy having this type of framework and way of thinking.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, man.
Yeah. It's related to Mango because we're basically also giving companies specific measurements, outputs with our control loops, which you're going to get into.
Yeah.
And basically do the same thing, right? Optimize for a specific set of outputs by measuring.
So perfect. I can go. So 180 Snacks is a business. Within 180 Snacks, we say that our mission is to create wow foods and snacks that bless people. And to bless people means to like breathe life into them. Like a really good cola. Like every time I see you eat that poppy cola, you're like, yeah, my microbiomes love this. But then more than just a snack and a food, what I'm interested as like a builder is how do you create a company that is so wow just to work there that on Friday afternoon when you leave, you're like walking out feeling good versus like tired, sad, or depressed.
Yeah.
So anyways, so that's 180 Snacks mission, but like what was the problem we ran into as we started scaling, as we hit right around that 60, 70 million threshold? Truly, you have to scale so that you can have a better cost structure and pass on a really good price to the customer. It's an imperative. It's not growing for the sake of growing. It's growing so that we can lower costs and deliver lower costs to the consumer. But the problem is, as things get bigger, there's all these like this chaos around communications and alignment. Long story short, I think just like a couple weeks ago, or like a week and a half ago, you and I chatted for the first time, and I shared with you this idea of like OODA loops: observe, orient, decide, and act. The simple mental model that the military uses, it does apply to a business as well. So the thought was, hey, if we could build, and we're so inspired by Palantir in some ways, like capture an ontology of how businesses run and create software that maps to what it actually feels like to work. Anyways, I don't want to go into the details of the product, but
Okay.
I wonder if people are going to be confused by what I'm saying.
No, not at all.
We'll see.
Like OODA loops is a way the military gets new information, distributes it to whoever needs to hear it, and take action from it.
So, like, here's a simple example. When you look at email, like, we looked at email and said, hey, this is really a feed of events. And if we were in the military, you don't just leave your email inbox on like 2,000 unread.
Yeah.
You don't just like check it randomly. You're trying to like make sure you're constantly triaging that thing and just capturing all those sensors and reflecting back like, hey, does my day need to change? Like, do my priorities need to change? But if you look at the way email is built today, there's no sense of like, that's what email is for.
Yeah.
Man, I have a feeling no one's gonna, people might not understand, but once the next wave of these systems come in, they'll be like, yeah, like, truly, you need to measure your ability to consume all your emails
Yeah.
across all your workstations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess without getting to specific detail, it's 8 years of built up frustration with
Yes.
current apps,
Yes.
which were not made by people running businesses. They were made by CS guys and VCs. But
Yes.
you're the domain expert that knows exactly the type of software is needed to run a scaling company. And we're just making that very well. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
by basically a control loop.
Yeah.
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 Well said.
So it's cool. Yeah, that's the funny side about about V's, about Silicon Valley and all that stuff. Because I guess I'm not from that world at all, but it seems like a lot of the decisions are not just made by like founders now. It's made a lot by VCs and how they perceive things and how they, based on their incentives, based on their own internal whatever like funding rules or how to get the most money. So like there it's probably the reason we always talk about like how come no one's doing it. It actually is like incredibly obvious. And it actually is shocking that no one's done it yet. And
Okay.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's because they have these bad incentives and no one's like thinking about this because they're not business owners.
I'm gonna riff off that. We've talked about this before, but I like that. I think it's like Sam Altman or Paul Graham. I forget who was saying it, but like focus on solving a pain that you personally have experience with, or someone on your core team is deeply familiar with. Yeah, like SpaceX's IPO has been interesting because for a lot of people, they see the wealth created and they're like, oh, let me do something space related. But I'm like, you'll never succeed unless it was a personal pain. Like, unless you personally felt anguished at a young age about, like, hey, I want to go, we need to be intergalactic. Like, unless you were a 10-year-old boy dreaming about space, you won't have what it takes in your body to deeply understand the vision and the pain.
Right. Right.
And you can't manufacture, like, your lived experience instantly because everyone else is doing it. I think that's, to your point, that's what happens in Silicon Valley. So anyways, my only point is I think the reason why with Mango RTS, like why we can build it, one, your experience is working, and two, yeah, I mean just 8 years of suffering. And there is a better way,
Yeah.
you know?
Maybe we could talk about who sucks. The apps.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. And to your point, I think how many people in Silicon Valley took over a family-owned business that was like not just small, like, 15, 20 million in sales, and then had to try to grow it.
Yeah.
That's kind of a unique experience. Like it's so
Yeah.
Main Street. It's not techie.
Mm.
It's just real manufacturing. Okay, let's talk about some competitors or some other products and why they suck.
Right now, 180 uses linear, ClickUp, shortwave, Google Chats,
Yeah.
and then you like certain parts about some of them, but they all
Front.
kind of suck in some other ways.
Yeah. So,
Right.
well, Front email. We use Front because of email sharing, the fact that you can comment on each other's emails.
Mm.
We pay like $7,000 a month for that singular feature,
Which is insane.
which is insane.
That's literally insane. Because like 2 hours later, I can make that.
Yeah.
It's not hard at all.
It might work for like a Cisco or they have 600 customer service agents, and like the level of volume and traffic, there's this engineering to support it. But for most businesses, like, I mean, we have like 40 people using Front.
Yeah.
So yeah, Front, that's crazy. Okay, let's talk about the classic one. Email and then Slack, email and then Google Chat. Like that's garbage. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. And I hear a lot how no one likes like fix email. You must like someone please fix email. And then the Silicon Valley's idea of fixing emails is making it automated or
Yes.
like auto sorting, but that's not what people really wanted. But we have discovered a better way to do it.
Okay, tell the our audience your insight about automation.
Was it
Remember
the
that?
one where if you have a shitty, well, it's like Elon's
Yeah. Yes.
algorithm.
Yes. Yes.
It's question requirement, delete, then simplify, then increase cycle time, then automate. So if you got the first four steps wrong, and within your organization, you got the first four things wrong, and then you just try to automating a buttload of emails, it's like you're just automating a bunch of garbage, and that doesn't really work because people can't read. People literally can't read and schedule and execute on that email fast enough. So what good will automating emails even do?
Yeah.
You're just creating a bottleneck somewhere else.
And you had such a pithy phrase. I remember distinctly. We were in the meeting room. I just remember, it was like it just started ringing in my ear. You said automation. You said, but automation is the last step.
Yeah,
But automation is the last step.
should be the last step.
And that's profound because here you have the entire industry automating, given an existing workflow and existing paradigms, but automation is the last step.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for hardware,
But deleting.
automation must be the last step because things are expensive, atoms are hard to move.
Whoa,
So
whoa.
so that's why
You're right.
people
You're right.
haven't thought of it like that for software stuff. But I think it does still I think it still makes sense. Like obviously like you can still automate garbage and it's mostly fine.
You can get some ROI on it.
But I think people are realizing tokens are pretty expensive. The AI labs need to make money. So you need to make that really efficient. And it's just like, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna have automate slop. I guess you can, but and then compete. If you're automating slop, but you're competing with a company that really cleared out a bunch of crap in the back end, and then is automating good processes, like and then you try to 10x your scale, it's like, okay, so who has an advantage in that? So I think yes, even in software, automation is last.
That's such a good point. Hardware naturally forces you to really spend time on those earlier steps of Elon's algorithm, questioning the requirements, and software you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's part, I guess, in some ways, that's the beauty of the industry. But yeah, we kind of took a step back and said, hey, yeah, if you could redo this thing from scratch, what would it look like?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that's the whole email chat divide.
Yeah.
And if I meet more people that are passionately hateful about that, like there's some really great companies like Upstream. I've talked with that founder over WhatsApp before. Like he's amazing. They're tackling a little bit of a different problem. It's, in my opinion, it's smaller, but it's more accessible. Who else is doing it? I think he's the only guy.
Oh,
I respect him a lot though. This market's huge. I think he
yes.
has a different focus from us.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about logic gates, or do you want to take the conversation somewhere else?
Wait,
Where are
what
we
is
at
this
right
camera is telling me to turn on reaction? Still recording, right?
now?
I think it is.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. All right, still going.
Cool.
We're at 30 minutes. We could call it here, or we could we could probably talk all day.
Okay. Is there anything else that you naturally want to talk about? I feel like today was a little bit of like re-summarizing stuff we've already discussed.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes the conversation will lack the same energy because, like, although I think these are subjects we love,
Yeah.
but when we're real time discovering things, that's the craziest podcast. you know?
Yeah, those are pretty fun. I
Let's do
mean,
like a novel subject. One from you, one from me, and then we'll close it. It could be anything.
well, I guess just on the way here, I saw this thing about Volkswagen cutting 100,000 jobs. I saw it on X. I don't
Okay.
know if it's real, but it's just like so funny how just things, how like the nature of decline, no matter what, for companies, for civilizations, for people, it's almost always the same thing. It always follows, I won too hard, and then you become weak by being for civilization to be like degenerate, decadent, losing your purpose,
Hmm.
doing things that are, and then increasing the bureaucracy, like all the same things that Volkswagen probably did. Um, they try to do this like EV switch, and then I guess it's not doing as well. And then
Following.
tariffs for exporting to the U.S. And then China came out with a bunch of really nice cars like BYD and Geely, I think.
Yeah, in
They're losing market
Mexico,
share.
in Turkey, man, there's so many Chinese EVs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then so it's like, why did those Chinese companies win? It's because the way that works is the state sets a mandate, and then each province in China uh, creates their own like champion, and then they do this insane hyper competition, like insane. Sure, there's subsidies and stuff, but they compete in their market, they win, and then those are the winners, and then they move out to the rest of the world. And then it's like you didn't have those competitive pressures with Volkswagen because all the automakers were kind of just like moping around. And so, like, what did these Chinese companies have? Like, they had this maniacal sense of urgency. They want to win. They have this purpose to just win. And sure, I'm sure Volkswagen CEOs and C-suites have a purpose to like make money, but it was more to like make sure I have my position in the company. I have this comfortable life, and I don't really care about the company too much. I just pretend to care to make money. But their purpose was not to have Volkswagen win. If that was really their purpose, like how that's Elon's purpose, they would have done EVs better. They would have realized, oh, we need to make our cars drive by themselves. If that's our purpose, we have to do everything possible to make the best car possible. So it's like the same thing. It's and so it's like how do you organize a human structured system in a way where that doesn't happen, which might not be possible. All civilizations have like a 0% success rate. Like they all collapse one way or
Mm.
another.
Yeah, no, that's super. It's because it goes into just like the nature of motivation, and you're talking about it at like a societal level. In some ways, therefore, a good society is a society that makes it possible for entrants to emerge
Yeah.
and is totally okay with incumbents dying. So in some ways, like, yeah, you can't solve a decaying company. In fact, the market mechanic exists to let them die and new companies emerge. But then you're pointing out, like, okay, our market system is running, but still something about the nature of the country is changing. Or even with all these free market institutions, you're not seeing the level of innovation relative to China.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah, it's the story that we tell ourselves across the country, ultimately.
Mm.
Yeah, because they're fractals. They're fractals. Sure, the market might be running, but then as a whole, the society. So the global market will also have winners and losers, and America could fade, and a new nation appears, and then that creates the new conditions for maybe one day for America to reemerge.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's what you're thinking about today, hearing that Volkswagen.
Yeah. I was just like, how is it possible that we've done the same thing so many times across human history and like no one bothered to like really write it down and figure out how to stop doing this?
How to stop doing this?
Yeah, how do you get human institutions to stop doing the same thing? It's the exact almost the exact same failure reasons. This is like it's because everyone just dies in like 80 years and no one remembers. But again, now things are changing with AI. Is like, we'll see, we'll see how it turns out. But I do wonder if it's like some kind of like fundamental law of nature where even if you have AI systems, if they don't Like you know what I mean? Like maybe even AI systems that don't become degenerate or decadent, even then, if there is no competition, do they still um, maybe not collapse like humans, but kind of just like suboptimal?
I think
I'm just really
no,
curious.
that's just as I listen to you, I'm just thinking like I think that's why the focus is like it's like a meta project. Like it's foolish to try to reverse this course, but they're focusing on the main levers that allow change to emerge, which is freedom, like human freedom,
Yeah,
like education. As long as you can keep bringing access to, anyways.
yeah.
Okay, that's above my pay grade.
I think okay. One last point I want to really drive for the first podcast is okay. So let's say you're teleported back to a Native American tribe in 4000 BC, and you're like, guys, Uh, you might not believe me, but in around 5,500 years, a bunch of guys from another continent will come here
Mm,
and they will wipe out 99.9%. I don't know the next. I think it's like 99% of you guys. You will be wiped out so hard, your descendants do not know your own language and do not believe in your own religions.
mm,
So, how do you prep for this? You're like, how do we make your lives better? And I think across the moral spectrum from all sides of politics, from all kinds of religions, it's like, yes, I want this society to not get wiped out, and I want you guys to be better off. And then so you would do things like, oh, let's try not have a 50% infant mortality rate or whatever the number was back then. Let's try to make it so you have like, AC. You guys would really like this thing called AC. I know you guys would really like um, to not have like most of your children die.
mm,
I know you would love to like have nice, comfortable lives. And so you do all these things like you create electricity, whatever, you try to improve their lives. And you distill down all of the actions that you will do. Oh, and like other things like there's don't do a rain dance, there's fertilizer and there's whatever.
mm,
Or and like don't just randomly kill people, have like some rules. All these actions that we perceive socially as improving your lives, we are all innately doing this calculation, and you can distill that down to increasing the scientific, productive, and human well-being outputs. If you just if you came down to that society 4000 BC and only focused on those three outputs, I think what would naturally emerge is a society like ours today. I think that would be a very natural course. You'd be like, oh, how do I increase productive outputs, industrialization?
mm,
How do I increase science? Oh, you're going to have like an education system and academia. How do I increase the human well-being? Oh, maybe instead of having one asshole rule everyone, you have like a democracy
mm,
and free
mm,
markets and buying power to a middle class. Like,
mm,
I think, yes. So the
mm,
thing that drives this thought experiment, shitty word, but if an alien came back, had the same scenario, but for aliens, they come here like, how do we get this current society to where we are? What would they do? And I think it would still be the same three outputs. You would just still increase the scientific, productive, human well-being outputs. And that's the problem with today is everyone is thinking in their immediate psyche evolved from natural selection and biology, which is status, mass and energy for myself and whatever. But no one's really having this greater purpose of getting literally playing like Civilization 5, where you look down and go like, how do I improve this society and then grow and expand? Well, don't we want to go to conquer the entire galaxy and see how much of the universe we can get? But no one's really thinking of it that way because we're just in this local optimum bullcrap. So yes, I wanted to get that point across. That
yeah,
that 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 actually is what I think about half the time. I know we're running Mango,
yeah.
but actually half the time I'm thinking about stuff like this.
And I'm following it, so I'm just parsing. I'm thinking heavy duty right now. I think it's like a worldview. I think there's different languages actually. So like depending on who the person is and where they're coming from, they can access what you're saying or they don't understand it. One thought that comes to mind is it's like historical materialism. It's this like sense of like history is driven by like our ability to manage production. Um, and then which is obvious if you look at it, the last 100 years. But like then there's all sorts of other language that you can approach it from. So for instance, like what makes a society want to explore the galaxy? And then you can get this other type of language where it's like, oh, at the end of the day, mankind is in pursuit of meaning or awe or beauty or good. And that very quickly you need a whole nother set of authors and language to capture it.
Yes.
But these complement each other for sure. So I'm thinking about like, when we were in school, in my sociology department, we would study like the Protestant ethic, like really trying to understand like
Oh,
how did like this idea about like salvation and faith and your role in society actually power the Industrial Revolution, if you believe it did. At the end of the day, it was a pretty religious society. Versus today, it's completely non-religious, the modern world. I think if you look at like 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, on average, I think it was a much more religious society. So it's
yeah.
interesting to track
Yeah.
like people's internal operating systems and then nation state building and civilization and growth.
Yeah.
Because now I'll just end with this. I think it's important, like, even as we are part of this very, very large enterprise that humanity has, I imagine it's hard enough to manage your own backyard. It's hard enough to manage like your own family unit. It's hard enough to manage a singular company. So this goes back to the sociological imagination, where you got to be able to talk in epochal language. And then practically speaking, I admire this about you. You find a very practical way to channel that energy. So in this chapter of your life, you're in North Orange County, working on a very specific type of software that enables, the next generation of white collar work.
Yeah. Don't be a chin stroker.
That's a chin stroker. Chin
Just
stroker.
thinking about
Just
it.
thinking.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
That doesn't do anything.
Just thinking. That's funny. Chin stroker is really funny. That's like an actual concept.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I
Yeah.
have anything else?
So hopefully we could get out of this local optimum of operating under biology and human nature
Mm.
and try to, pursue something greater
Yeah.
than our biology would normally allow.
This is one of the reasons why I think we make a good team. Like we're different and then we're still similar.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I would put my metaphysics as kind of like, I use different language where it's like, I think there's so much suffering. I think when you look at small and medium-sized businesses, they're suffering. Like people are stressed out. If we could build better systems,
Yes.
you build happier workplaces.
Yes.
And happier professionals make for happier people at home. Happier fathers,
Yes.
sons, mothers, and a happier nation. If this nation starts losing against the rest of the world, it will affect our marriages. It will affect our friendships.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. If American civilization collapses, that'd be like top 10 worst things ever. It would actually be that'd be so bad.
Shrek. Hey, good job. First
Yeah.
podcast.
I think it was a great podcast.
It was fun.
It was fun.
I just love that we're in the arena and trying things. That's
Yeah.
what matters.
Yeah.
You're pretty good in front of the camera.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like when we started, you were just talking. I
Oh.
felt nervous in the beginning, but I was able to kind of ride off of your energy.
Okay.
Like I was like,
Oh,
oh,
cool.
okay, we're talking.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, well done.
Okay. How long is it? Oh, it's been 44 minutes and a half.
Once we cut everything, it'll probably be like 20 minutes.
Oh.
The software helps cut like uhs and
Oh, really?
and-
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool,
So
cool,
it
cool.
goes. Dude, all right,
Yes.
that's a wrap. That was fun.
It was fun.
It's cool to try.
Every Saturday?
Yeah,
Sweet.
because
I
we're
like it.
talking anyways. We
Yes.
just turn it on. We're capturing more than creating. Alex Ramosi has a
Yeah.
interesting framework around that.
I wish we captured all the other conversations we've had. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that?
Wait, okay, maybe we need to build that into our day a little bit better. Like even in the morning when we're talking, we can capture. So we got to strike a balance so it's not obnoxious. Let's say we're just going over the product.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
We can do it a different way too.
I want another poppy.
All right, I
Should you
mean,
want to give an office tour? Maybe should that be like another podcast and another
oh,
video? Because
that's,
you have a really cool. I'm sure people will love to see the warehouse over there.
oh, okay. Well, should we just give them a peek?
Sure. What do I do with my camera?
Uh,
Let's
can you
get.
turn it off?
Does it turn off the whole Oh, if I leave, does it close the whole thing? Let's see. You're about to stop recording for this cam. Oh, okay. But I think it's good.
Okay. This is the office we're working out of. This is the HQ.
I'm gonna get a poppy.
So that's what we want Mango to run. Jonathan's gonna grab his drink. And here's a view of 180's new facility. Production is being built in this corner to be 20,000 square feet. And just a lot of product being stored here. Yeah. Okay. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching or listening. I have no idea who would find that interesting. Huh. Figure it out.